Welcome to Pilates for Runners. You've made it to day 6 of your 7-day challenge. Today's session and tomorrow's session are both focused on bringing together everything we've been covering over the week. So everything from your hip mobility and strength right the way through to that mobility through the upper back and that strength to hold that lovely open position. So when you're ready, grab some space and we'll get going. We are going to start with the feet hip distance apart. So when you glance down, you want hip bones, middle of the kneecap, all facing in line with the toes. From there, imagining that piece of string coming up through your spine. So you pull up towards the ceiling from the crown of the head. The rib cage lifts up and away from the hips without flaring the rib cage forward. And then we tuck the tailbone so that it's pointing down towards the floor. So we've just got that small arch in the lower back. Draw the shoulder blades down and slightly together so we're nice and open across the upper body. From there, big breath in through the nose. Pausing at the top, you're just going to connect those lower abdominals in. Remember, we only want to come in a third of the way. Release the breath and try and hold there. So we've got that connection through our center. When you're ready, big breath in, sweep the arms up, interlace the fingers, hands go behind the head and the elbows push wide. Next breath in, we're going to take the shoulders to the ears, draw the shoulders down and away from the ears, keep the elbows wide, lift, and then out and open. Big breath in. Exhale, elbows wide. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, draw the shoulders down your back. Leave the elbows wide and then open out. Good, 3 more. Leave the shoulders down when you reach the arms up. Good, last 2. So working on that shoulder and upper back mobility so that we're nice and open across the chest and upper back. Last time. All the way up, all the way down, lift and out. From there, big breath in, sweep the arms out just to the sides. And then as you exhale, we're going to reach forward around the upper back, stretch forward. As you open out, you're going to open the arms wide, squeeze the bottom and push the hips forward as you reach back and stretch the chest. And again, exhale, reach forward. Inhale, open out, push the hips forward by squeezing your bottom. And reach. Good, last time. Exhale, forward. Inhale, open out. And then coming to that neutral position, so midway between the two. So the chest is still open, but we're not rounding. We're not overextending and pushing the hips forward. Arms come down, roll the shoulders. From there, hands coming to the hips. We're going to take the weight back into the heels, so we come down into a squat, knees staying out over the feet. Then we're going to rise all the way up and onto the toes. Weight goes back into the heels and then up and onto the toes. So the whole time you're moving, the chest stays open, the back stays nice and tall. So what we're not doing is rounding the spine to come down. We stay nice and open. All the way up onto the toes, all the way down into the heels. Remember, at that top point, we don't want the ankles rolling in or out. Down, and then all the way up. 4 more. All the way down into the heels, all the way up onto the toes. Get that gentle connection is what's helping you to balance at the top. 2. Last one, we're going to come down, then we're going to come up and we're going to pause at the top with the heels lifted. Now we're going to squat from here. So keeping the weight in the toes, keeping the heels up, coming down as low as you can get, and then rising back up. Heels stay up, all the way down, all the way back up. Good, all the way down. So connect those lower abs to help you balance. If you need a little bit more help, bring the arms out. Good, for 5. Heels are still lifted. For 4. For 3. For 2. Last one, all the way down. Come up. Drop the heels, now come down into a squat and we're going to lift and lower the heels from here. So we lift and lower, lift and lower. So we're in that squat position, working into the feet, calves and ankles. We're going to go for 10, 9, remember the body's really still, 6, 5, 4, heels right up for 3, 2, 1. Good, rising up from there, coming back. Option 1 here, you're just going to take the weight over into that right leg, tap the left leg behind, bring it back, hover it off the floor and open the knee out. So we tap behind and then open the knee. So from this position, we're nice and tall, extending the hip and getting a stretch, and then opening the knee to the side. And again, keeping the arms out wide if you need help with that balance, but the key is to keep the body really still as you move. The body really still as you move the leg, obviously. Good. If you want a little bit harder, you're going to bring the knee up in front, and then from there we're going to squat, extend the leg behind so it doesn't touch the floor, come back, rise up, open the knee there. Squat, extend, come back, up, open. So it's a little bit more challenging for your balance. You can bring the arms in if you don't need them to help you. Squat, extend, back, and then open. Okay, we've got 5 more. 4. Good, nice and lifted through the chest, keeping the shoulder blades drawn together. And then the chest and collarbone nice and open. Last 2. This is the last one. Good, come down. We're going to do the same on the other leg. So when you're ready, take the weight into the other leg, soften the knee. To start with, remember you just tap behind and then open out. Aiming to keep the weight through that standing leg, keeping the body as still as you can. Arms come out if you need them. And then if you're ready to add, the knee comes up. We squat, extend behind, come back, rise up and open. Good. Remember when you're coming down, the knee stays in line with the hip and coming out over the toes rather than rolling in or out. Good. Got 5 more from here. Remember, lower abs are pulling in so that helps with the stability up above the hips. And obviously the glutes and hips are working to stabilize from the hips and down into the knee. I think we've got 3 more. My counting's always a little bit patchy, I'm not going to lie. Obviously I tell you that after I've started counting. But it's fine, we'll get there. Good. 2, I think that's 2. I think we've got 1 more. Let's go for 1 more to be sure. Extend, back, up and open. Lovely, come down, shake it off. From there, we're going to do an extended back wheel. We're going back to balance on the first leg we were balancing on. We're going to extend the right leg behind. From here, we're going to do a hinge. So soften that front knee, all the weight down there, a little bit of a rest on that back toe if you need help with balance. We're going to hinge from the hip and come parallel to the floor. So make sure you don't drop the shoulders down, draw them back in together. And then from here, arms nice and relaxed down towards the floor. You're going to lift them up as high as they'll go and then back, up and then back. If you want to make this more challenging, you're going to lift that back leg up behind you and balance here. For 5, 4, Lift the arms up as high as they'll go. 2. On the 1, we're going to leave them up and then sweep them down to your sides and back. Down to your sides and back. Keep them nice and high off the floor so you're working into the back and shoulders. Good. For 5, 4. Good, nice and open across the chest still. 2, 1. Arms either come out to the sides or out in front if you want it a bit more challenging. Try and hold your balance. And then from there, we're going to do a hinge. So we're going to come back up. You're either leaving the toe down on the floor to help you balance, or you're bringing the leg up behind you each time. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. My balance is not very good today. Come back up, shake it off. We can do the same on the other leg. So taking the weight into the right leg, extending the left leg behind, so it's nice and light on the floor, hinging from the hip. So we come down parallel to the mat, lift and lower, lift and lower. Draw the arms up as high as they'll go. Keep the back parallel to the floor so we're not folding forwards. For 4, 3, remember you can bring that back leg up behind you. On the 1, keep the arms up, and then they go down to your side, back in front. If you need to, just rest that back leg lightly on the floor. Keep the weight in that front leg. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Remember, arms are in front if you want it more challenging, or out to the side if you want help with balance. And we're going to hinge back up, either leaving the toe on the floor and hinging back up and down, or bringing the leg with you each time. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back up, shake it off. You'll be pleased to know we're done.